This week I am starting a new ADHD medication. I am taking you with me as I start the journey of taking a new ADHD medication. I have not been medicated in like a year and a half, so we're gonna find out what it does. But I have class soon, so I'm gonna go get dressed. Alright, while I get ready for my day and head into the classroom, I'm gonna let voiceover Katie take it away to introduce the vlog, who I am, and what we're doing with this whole ADHD medication journey. Voiceover Katie, take it away! So welcome everyone to or back to my YouTube channel. My name is Katie and I'm a graduate student at Parsons School of Design in their master's program called Fashion Studies. I study the sociocultural phenomenon of fashion, and I was diagnosed with ADHD in 2021. I suspected that I had ADHD in the beginning of 2020 through 2021 and got diagnosed in the summer between my junior and senior year. At that time, I tried a couple of different medications. I tried a non-stimulant called guanfacine, as well as your typical stimulant Ritalin for treating my ADHD symptoms. None of them quite worked the way that I wanted them to, and I was so used to getting through my academics on my own that I decided to just stop using ADHD medication. When it comes to graduate school, however, it requires a lot more free and structured time that you have to figure out what to do with yourself, and one of the key characteristics of ADHD is being disorganized. So while in undergrad, while I had plenty of structure with, my course schedule, my deadlines, assignments every week, etc., in graduate school, I needed to rely a lot more on myself, especially as I am moving into the writing stage of my research and my thesis. So I wanted to set myself up for success, which is why I started trying to take ADHD medication again. But before we get into the rest of the video, I want to take a moment to share some jewelry that Ana Luisa was so kind to send to me, so here's a little aside. I wanted to give a quick thank you to Ana Luisa, who sent me some beautiful pieces of jewelry. This November, Ana Luisa is running a big sale with up to 30% off, so I have left a link in my description that you can go ahead and click to go find something to gift your loved ones or even to gift yourself. Speaking of holiday gifts, I love the pieces that Ana Luisa sent me to show you. I have here this beautifully dainty necklace with a rose motif in the center, but also these pearl earrings. I have personally gifted these earrings from Ana Luisa to both my mom, my own mom, and my mother-in-law. They both love these earrings and wear them all the time. They are sturdy enough that my mom wears them horseback riding, and they are hypoallergenic, so that my mother-in-law with her sensitive skin and metal allergies can still wear these earrings day in and day out. They have been super successful as holiday gifts. And in fact, I will probably be gifting more Ana Luisa to my mother-in-law for Christmas this year. Besides being sturdy, well-built, and actually tested for humidity so that they never tarnish, as a fashion studies scholar, we cannot talk about fashion, including jewelry, without talking about sustainability. I love Ana Luisa because they are a carbon-neutral company. From their packaging to their jewelry, everything that they do with their company is to offset their carbon output. So not only are you getting beautiful designs, but you can also be sure that you're doing good for the planet. Additionally, I just have to point out that as someone with ADHD, it can be a little bit hard for me to organize my jewelry and to know what goes with what. You'd be surprised. As someone who studies fashion, I actually have a really hard time putting outfits together. So I love Ana Luisa because they sell beautiful sets of jewelry that already matches, that already goes together, and I have quite a few of their matching earrings and necklace sets. You can also find these as gift bundles on their website. So if you have a hard time making decisions like I do, Ana Luisa does all the hard work to design really beautiful jewelry sets that will look gorgeous no matter how you wear them. So don't wait. Shop high quality, affordable, and beautiful jewelry at Ana Luisa, and click the link in my description to go shop their November sale for 30% off while you still can. And back to the video. Thank you for letting me take that brief interlude to share Ana Luisa's jewelry with you. Don't forget to check out my link in the description box and onto the rest of the video. It was really important to me to document this journey and share it with you because I want to show solidarity with other ADHD students and to also destigmatize the use of medication and invisible disabilities. Medication is a fantastic tool that gives us a great quality of life, and I think that that's really important to recognize. I want to start with this footage that shows you what a day in my life looks like because I want to illustrate what it is I'm hoping my ADHD medication will help me accomplish, which is organization, motivation, tackling my assignments, all my readings, and lesson planning because I'm a busy graduate student with a lot on my plate, so that's what I'm hoping it'll help me do. If you're curious to know more about how I was diagnosed, I have an entire video about my diagnosis journey, which I will leave in the description so you can go ahead and watch that, because I get a lot of questions about how to know if you have ADHD, and I want to make it very clear that this video is purely for informational purposes. So if you suspect you may have ADHD, I recommend reaching out to your healthcare provider if you have access to one, and otherwise doing your research, reading books, seeing what people's experiences are, and I want to add that there's absolutely nothing wrong with treating yourself like you have ADHD if you think you might. I believe that ADHD coping skills are for everyone, and also diagnosis isn't always accessible, so I say try things out and see what works for you. Anyways, I hope that you find the rest of this video informative. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of the show. I'm only home for like an hour so I can change into my ballet clothes, and I'm going back out to ballet. But before I can even think about going to ballet, I need to fuel up because I haven't really eaten a lot today, and then while I eat some lunch, I'm gonna share my shots. I'm gonna share my thoughts about my ADHD medication experience. So, day one recap before I go to ballet of being on my meds. This is technically day 2 of being on my meds. I took them yesterday as well because I didn't want my first test run to be at school. I wrote some notes to go over. The main things about taking this medication. This is not as fast acting as something like a single dose of non-extended release Ritalin. Vyvanse has like a much smoother curve versus when I would take Ritalin, it would kind of spike and then I would crash pretty hard. So that like increase in focus and attention and motivation, all that kind of stuff, and then the gentle decreases is a lot easier to handle physically. Now, the first thing, I woke up this morning and oh my god, I can't organize my thoughts. So that's like my general vibe of Vyvanse so far. But I have some like specific things I want to talk about. The first one being the physical feeling of being on a stimulant medication. Ritalin and Vyvanse are both stimulants, and stimulants like caffeine have a physiological response in your body or create a physiological effect in your body. And for me, that is the like racing or pounding heart feeling that I often associate with anxiety, but I'm not like physically tense, and I'm not having any of the thoughts that I associate with that pounding heart that indicates I'm having anxiety. So it's kind of like a weird one to experience, and it really only happens, I think, in the first couple of hours, and then I either get used to it or it goes away. I can't tell which one it is, but I'm just really aware of my heartbeat when Vyvanse like kind of starts to kick in my system. Also physically, my appetite is pretty non-existent. Not that it's taken all the joy out of eating, but that I just like don't care and that it's a bit of a chore, which is a little sad because I love eating food. While I'm not getting the same hunger cues as before, and food doesn't like taste as good because I'm not getting that dopamine response from eating yummy foods because Vyvanse is taking care of that dopamine issue. I did eat throughout the day, but I did also put off eating. I just kept working. I had a good concentration going. I was finally making some progress on my thesis proposal, and so I just didn't want to stop working, and by the time I realized I needed to stop to leave to go run the errands that I needed to do before I got home, there wasn't enough time to eat. The next two things are more of like the mental brain space, brain case, this thing up here that Vyvanse is supposed to help me with. And the two main things that I wrote down is that there was no sense of urgency, which was weird. Everything with me and ADHD has like a sense of urgency, whether it's the urgency of having an interesting thought and wanting to pursue that, or the urgency of an impending deadline that I procrastinated for way too long and now I need to actually take care of it, and the urgency is the only thing that's motivating me. No sense of urgency. Just I knew what I needed to do, and I knew I was going to be able to do it. No anxiety about whether or not I was going to be able to start the task. No anxiety about whether or not I'd be able to concentrate on the task long enough to complete it. Like, all of that was just gone. Like, I could just sit down and read. I didn't get this, like, building and mounting anxiety about reading, because without ADHD medication, me and reading, we are not friends. Reading academically and for school, but on Vyvanse, it's not a big deal. I don't get so anxious, I don't get like stopped up with that like sense of overwhelm. I don't get that anxiety and feeling of urgency that paralyzes me from doing something because I know that I'm going to be able to do it. Does that make sense? I think you see what I'm saying. I'm probably just over explaining it at this point. And the last thing, well, I already talked about this. It says easier time reading, concentrating, and processing information seems easier. But yeah, right? Like in the last 2 days even, it has made such a massive difference in reading. Like reading academically was actually a bit of a pleasure. I'm still having thoughts in my head that are going through my head as I'm reading, which is not the same with Ritalin. With Ritalin, I would have no thoughts. It would be empty in there, which I don't like. I know that for some people who take ADHD medication, that kind of like lack of noise in the head is a goal. For me, it's really unsettling. It's hauntingly quiet when that happens. So I'm really enjoying Vyvanse because I'll be reading and concentrating and processing, and I'll still have the thoughts come up, but they're more of like a little whisper or a little nudge rather than someone like grabbing the microphone out of your hand to demand their attention. That's that so far. The cons are mostly like the physical experience. The pros have definitely been the mental experience of like, I just feel like normal. Or at least what I assume normal is. I feel like relatively calm, collected, at ease, and like I am capable. Which honestly is not too much to ask for, but apparently it is for me. I do need to get ready for ballet soon, but some last final thought to conclude this section of checking in. I do think I crashed a little bit yesterday when I took my meds, so like I'm anticipating that crash a little bit and not looking forward to it, and I'm going to try to make sure that doesn't happen by making sure I'm eating enough. Cheers to day 2 technically of being on ADHD medication. That seems like it might actually be working. Knock on wood. Time to go back out into the rain and the cold to dance ballet. Bye. Good morning. Good morning, it's Tuesday, day 2/3 of taking Vyvanse. Joining you from the couch where I left off yesterday because I didn't vlog any of ballet. I really don't like to take the camera to ballet class. Ballet is the one place where my brain doesn't think about anything except for what my body is doing, and that's pretty rare for me. So I like to hold ballet as a bit of like a sacred space for my mental health. What was I saying? I'm having a bit more of like a spacey morning than I have the past couple of mornings, which is totally okay. I turned on the camera and immediately my brain was just like, what? It's Tuesday, today should be a fun day. I normally have an appointment in the afternoon, but it was canceled, so instead I'm going to the museum at FIT for their new exhibit. I'm in a class called fashion writing where we do a lot of writing, and one of the writing assignments we have to do is an exhibit review. I love exhibit reviews personally. I love the chance to be like, here's what I hated about everything. I do teach this afternoon as well, so I will be in the city later on. I still haven't gotten into the groove of my week, I think because my weekends have been so disruptive. I keep making the mistake of on Mondays being like, well, the thing I should really focus on is my teaching on Tuesdays, and so I do a lot of reading and lesson planning, and then I get to Tuesday and I have my appointment and homework assignments and I teach, and then I get to Wednesday where I have 2 classes of my own and then a class that I teach that I haven't prepped for. So it's Tuesday morning, I haven't prepped for any of those, so what we are going to do is read. And I'm actually quite excited about this because, like I said yesterday, the number one thing that Vyvanse has done for me is make reading so much easier, so much more pleasurable. I actually, before I started Vyvanse, I bought this antique music stand so I could stand while I read, and hopefully at some point get like a little walking pad so I can walk while I read. Because when I'm not medicated, movement is often the only thing that will get me to focus on my reading. It's not perfect. It still kind of feels like I'm reading through static, but at least I'm reading instead of procrastinating reading. Anyways, that's enough talking. I'm gonna get to reading for my first class tomorrow, but let's get into it. Little reading vlog. Alright, we have made it to the museum. I'm gonna go ahead inside, take a look. Then I have to rush to campus to teach. Let's go. I was so excited to see this, but yeah, the exhibit was closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, which I didn't know, so I had to figure out how to fix the whole I need to write an exhibit review for tomorrow. Yeah, that was a problem for next day, Katie. I need to leave within the next 35 minutes. I am not ready. Good morning, it's Wednesday. I didn't vlog last night. I went to Hillary David's book launch talk on the wardrobe of Jane Austen. She's a dress historian. It was a cool talk, cool premise for a book, but that's what I did last night after teaching. But right now it's 8:40. What I've been doing is taking my medicine at like 7 o'clock when my first alarm goes off, and then I lay down and I just kind of hang out in bed for an hour, kind of waiting for the first effects of the medicine to kick in. I've noticed I don't feel the impulse to be on my phone so much when I take my medication that way, which makes getting ready in the morning a lot easier because it means I'm not stuck scrolling on my phone. Speaking of the impulse to be on my phone, one of the big things that I've noticed in thinking back about my days so far is that my impulsivity has also gone down on this medication. For example, someone asked me about how research was going, and rather than giving them like an unbridled spiel, like just going off the second I opened my mouth and speaking without thinking, I actually stopped for a minute, thought, collected my thoughts, and then was like, here's a very brief summary of what's going on with my research. When normally, you get the unhinged rant of every single thought that I've ever had. So my thoughts from day 2 on the medication, like I said, lowered impulsivity. The reason why I haven't taken the medication until just now at 8:40 is because yesterday I hit about 3 or 4 o'clock and it had worn off, which kind of sucks because I was teaching class at 4 o'clock. So I was very scattered, not like a brain fog, but definitely like a chaos of static, just kind of like slowly descended over my head or over my mind, which is, kind of what ADHD feels like to begin with, which is a little frustrating because I know that Vyvanse is supposed to last a little bit longer. Even my friend who came and taught class with me was like, yeah, you're back. The meds have worn off. And it's so interesting because the number one thing that I feel is just like this panic at not being able to organize my thoughts. Call it popcorn thoughts. They'll just pop up out of nowhere, and trying to ignore those thoughts or trying to direct my thoughts towards what needs to be happening is not always successful. So that's that for now. My 2 main points were the reduced impulsivity, but also the Vyvanse wears off after a certain point, and then I can tell the difference now between ADHD and how it affects me, or like what it makes me do, and like how I operate normally, if that is even such a thing, on the Vyvanse. So that catches you up to now. I need to go because I'm gonna be late for class if I don't leave. I'll see you there. Bye. We're back at the museum. Take 2. Let's go. You unfortunately are not allowed to take videos while you were in the museum, so I didn't get any footage of this, but I would highly recommend checking out FIT's YouTube channel to learn more about this exhibit because it was pretty good. I am back on campus. I just ate lunch and I'm waiting for my class to start. Doing a little bit of prep work for the class that I teach this afternoon, or this evening really. It's from like 7 to 8 p.m. Just wanted to pop in, check in, and say like, I don't know why, but I'm not feeling the best. I'm feeling a little down and I can't pinpoint why. I'm almost at the end of my on-campus days. I'm on campus Monday through Wednesday, and like that's a lot for me, so I'm probably just really tired. I think I may also be having a little bit of imposter syndrome. I ended up at a book launch last night at FIT, just being surrounded by a lot of career professionals and scholars and all this kind of stuff was a little overwhelming for me. I didn't quite feel like I fit in, especially because I'm more on the theory side and not so much on the history side, so I couldn't relate to as much as what people were saying. And I just kind of came away from it feeling a little, I don't know, just not great. But I have a call scheduled with a friend when I get home tonight. I'm also alone tonight, but I'm looking forward to having a little bit of alone time. And I also don't have any school on Thursday, so I can decompress tonight a little bit rather than go like I do for the first 3 days of the week. I'm gonna keep resting, and I'm also going to finish reading the assigned reading for the class that I'm teaching tonight because I haven't finished that yet. I'm gonna go, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hello. Hold on, let me get cozy. Do you like my stuffed animals? This is Minnie, obviously. This is Coco. I've had Coco since I was like 10. He's been around for almost 2 decades at this point. It's Thursday morning. It's Thursday afternoon and I'm still in bed. I woke up not feeling great, so I went back to sleep for a little while, and I've just been laying in bed ever since then because I am exhausted mentally and physically, and I don't know if I'm getting sick or if I've just had a lot to do this week and I'm suffering the repercussions of that, or if I have done too much because I took my ADHD medication and was like capable of doing more, so I did more and then, you know, got tired because of it. I also haven't taken my meds this morning. Like, at a certain point, I don't want to take them if it gets late enough in the day because then I won't be able to sleep at night, but then that means that I've procrastinated getting out of bed. Anyways, this is day 4 of me supposed to be taking my ADHD medication and not doing it. Yeah, I do have some things I would really like to get done today. Like, I need to reach out to my informants for my research, which I haven't done, and it's been almost 2 weeks now since I connected with them, so it's time to do that. So I think what I'm going to try to do is like take a shower and then try to reach out to my informants and take care of some emails that I've fallen behind on, and kind of just take it a little bit easy. Try to respect the fact that I am tired. Tomorrow I definitely have work that I need to do because on Saturday and probably Sunday I'm going to be down for the count because I am going to see a Hozier in concert, which I'm so excited about, and I know I'm definitely not going to want to do any work the day after that. So alrighty, that is enough rambling on my part. I'm going to go shower and try to do something. I've actually just decided that the bathroom is an absolute mess. So before I can move on, I keep thinking about it, so I'm going to clean it. I'm having a really hard time prioritizing tasks today, and I wonder why, but this mess, we're going to clean it up. We've got my lunch here and a stack of books that I have collected over the last couple of weeks for writing my thesis. There's a lot here. I know it's only 3, but this one I have to read, or I don't have to, but I would like to read in its entirety. This one is going to make me rethink the entire theoretical orientation of my thesis, and this one is just really intense. So it's a semiotic study of like the fashion system, but he also like came up with really, how do I put this, complex systems and like formulas for doing a semiotic reading of the fashion image. Anyways, I gotta send some emails, and then I am just kind of doing this for the next couple of days, so I think I'm gonna end the vlog today because I have just like a lot of things I need to focus on, and vlogging is kind of getting in the way of some of them. So I'm gonna work for a little while and then we can talk about what this 4-day, 5-day experience on off Vyvanse has been like, because that is the purpose of this video after all. I do regret to inform you that I never picked up the camera again after filming a little bit of this time-lapse of me working, so I didn't actually get the chance to tell you my overall thoughts, so I thought I would let the voiceover do that for you. The pros so far of taking Vyvanse have been increased focus, motivation, I find prioritization much easier, and I just have overall like an ease of existence that I've never experienced before. It really makes it so much easier to organize my thoughts, to act on those thoughts, to not procrastinate. Task initiation is so much easier, and most importantly, reading has become more pleasurable. The cons are the physiological or the physical side effects, such as racing heart. I get a little bit sweaty. I also have some natural hair thinning, but I think it also increases my hair thinning. Additionally, this has no effect on memory, so if memory is a really big part of your struggle with ADHD, medication probably won't help that. And I've also had a difficulty timing when to take it. However, some other things that I've done is I've started to take a lower dose so that I don't get as intense physical side effects, and I only really take it on days where I need it. Now, I must be clear again that I am no healthcare professional, so you should be taking your medication the way it is prescribed to you, whatever conversation that is with you and your healthcare provider. And I am still using all of my other tools and strategies to cope with my ADHD, because Vyvanse and ADHD medication is not a cure-all. It's a great tool, but I'm still really grateful for all of the other work that I've done to learn how to cope with my ADHD, and I really recommend that you work on those other skills and use ADHD medication as a tool if that's what is right for you. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you found it helpful and informative. Don't forget to check the link in my description to shop Anna Louisa's 30% off November sale. And tell me in the comments, is this something you've ever experienced? I'd love to hear your story, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye everyone!